Hello everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing Mufasa, the Lion King, the live-action, animated, photorealistic prequel to The Lion King, the live-action remake, which is a remake of the original. It's a whole big mess of things, but I haven't been super excited for this one. I thought the original Lion King remake, I liked it at the time. Now, the more I think about it, the less I'm, in love with it. But I went into this hoping for the best. Barry Jenkins, he has a good track record. So I was excited to see how this went, and I'm excited to talk about it. So this will be a non-spoiler review. So, I guess there'll be spoilers for The Lion King, the original story, but nothing for Mufasa. So without further ado, let's get into things. So, talking about some of the negatives, first off, just getting them out of the way. I thought for the most part the script was kind of generic. It wasn't super interesting, wasn't super compelling. The dialogue was fine. And a lot of times there's definitely, it's a kids movie script, and they don't have to be super complex. But also in the same house, you got Pixar, who's able to consistently produce very, very smart kids movie scripts. So I was a little disappointed to see, the script wasn't super great. Some of my other criticisms, once again, photorealistic lions still don't totally work following. Like animals can work for the main characters of a movie if it's fully animated, or if you're using real animals that are trained and there's a lot of human characters. But this is just entirely realistic looking CGI animals, and because of that, it is still kind of weird. It still doesn't fully work at compelling the characters. Most of the characters were pretty one note, pretty generic, nothing too special or crazy about them. And the whole movie is just kind of bogged down in its desire to just remind you of The Lion King. And sometimes that works. The musical cues are pretty solid, but it feels so often that it wants to reference it and just very intensely set it up. And it homages the death of Mufasa so many times. There is at least 5 or 6 different scenes where it's oh, Mufasa's falling. I wonder what's going to happen to him. And it's what's going to happen to him. Stop teasing this. Once is okay, but 6 times, I don't know. Sorry, I'm ranting. And then also there's it's the narrative device is it's Rafiki and Timon and Pumbaa telling the story of Mufasa to Simba and Nala's daughter. And sometimes that worked, it was kind of cute. It led to a decent beginning, decent ending. But then just every now and then it would just cut back to Timon and Pumbaa. It would be the heat of the story of Mufasa. Then would cut back to Timon and Pumbaa just making random jokes. And sometimes they were funny, sometimes they weren't. It was kind of iffy. But I digress. On to the positives. For the most part, this was that rant aside, this was better than I was expected. I found myself more hooked in the story. Sure, like I said, not very complex, very much just setting up the Lion King. But, I thought Mufasa, played by Aaron Pierre, was pretty cool. Scar/Taka, played by Kelvin Harrington Jr., pretty solid. And I thought Scar, for the most part, it was a little rushed at points. The script was a little rushed. But for the most part, I thought his arc was very, very solid. And then near the end of the movie, he started sounding a lot more like Jeremy Irons, which I liked a lot. I thought his arc was compelling. This is the best way you can show why is Scar the way he is, while also still making him, in a sense, a sympathetic character. Mufasa's cool. Rest of the cast is solid. Zazu, Rafiki, everyone's solid. I think they did a better job making the animals emote this time. I think they did a much better job with that. Still not perfect, but a lot better than the 2019 version. The music by Lin-Manuel Miranda is great, and I do love the homages to the references to the original Lion King. None of the songs are outstanding, but they're all at least catchy in their own sense, and I was never bored, dull watching them. Maybe that I was kind of watching Moana 2's musical numbers. And then, what else? Even though I gave them slack to it, the photorealistic animals look insanely good. There were some shots I was well, yeah, this is CGI, and other shots I was did they get real animals for this? Because this is insane. Not necessarily the talking shots, but the shots where they're just showing the animals. Very impressive. Cinematography was very solid. And it just worked. I think Barry Jenkins as a director, obviously he's more of a live-action, grounded story director. But seeing him here kind of trying to take on more of a... This is obviously something new for him, and he definitely seemed to be experimenting with it, trying to do interesting things. I thought that was compelling. There were some cool shots, a lot of cool long takes, which I appreciated. And yeah, I just found the story, for the most part, interesting. It was cool to see the story of Mufasa and Scar, how they got the way they are. And yeah, definitely a little unnecessary, definitely too bogged down by a mess script, and just too many ties to the greater Lion King story. And sure, the photorealistic lions aren't perfect, but it's more interesting than you'd expect. I like Scar's story, and for the most part, I had a decent time watching it. It's fun enough, and I was more hooked during the finale than I thought I would be. So, Not a great film, not a bad film, but a decent enough Disney Christmas family film. I just think it's pretty solid. I think it's better than the live-action Lion King, and you know, it's decent enough. Good for you, Barry Jenkins. Hope you got that bag and can make a lot of your own stuff from here on out. So I'd give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. Hope you guys liked the video. Coming up before Christmas and my big, or not before Christmas, before the end of the year, and my big final video, we got reviews for Sonic 3, Nosferatu, Kraven the Hunter, and What If Season 3. So I hope to see you all then. Bye for now.